The World Economic Forum's annual meeting is underway in Davos. The theme of this year's gathering is cooperation in a fragmented world. A so-called fragmented world stands in stark contrast to just before the pandemic, when the forum's theme was about ushering in an era of globalization 4.0. Now, these days, narratives of deglobalization have proliferated. The IMF said at Davos that more international cooperation is needed on multiple fronts, warning that the specter of a new Cold War could fragment the world into rival economic blocs. If that happens, the IMF says it will be a collective policy mistake that would leave everyone poorer and less secure, adding that fragmentation could cost the global economy up to 7% of GDP. That means nearly $6.8 trillion of economic output is at stake. But is our international community consigned to sleepwalking into fragmentation? I say absolutely not. We have the wisdom to rise above our differences no matter how great they are. We can and must find ways to ensure the voices of global cooperation are louder than those wishing for a more fragmented world. During Chinese Vice Premier Liu He's special address at Davos, he spoke about strengthening international cooperation and maintaining world peace 11 times. China's position of pursuing stronger global solidarity and deeper cooperation to tackle humanity's common challenges has been unwavering and consistent. That's why China envisions an international community with a shared future, not one divided into rival blocs. Now, here's what I think is also beneficial for global cooperation, and that's China's continued modernization, development, and growth. The Chinese economy's sheer scale and depth provide a ballast to support global growth when the world economy experiences a downturn or recession. Finding ways to cooperate in China's supersized market offers businesses stability and opportunity in a world of slower growth. It's an important reason why, despite a sharp rise in global uncertainty and complexity, foreign direct investment in China has remained at or near record highs. The World Bank projects the global economy to grow by just 1.7% in 2023. But as China adjusts its COVID-19 measures, the world's second largest economy is expected to outperform, with many of the world's top financial institutions upgrading their China GDP growth forecasts to well above 5%. Robin Ching, chief China economist at Morgan Stanley, recently told me that as the global economy softens this year, he expects China's rebound will contribute to 40% of global economic growth in 2023. That pro-growth tone was also heard at Davos, as in his special address, Chinese Vice Premier Liu He said China is expecting a noticeable increase in imports this year, more corporate investment and consumption to return to normal. But don't just look at the short term. Look at the long-term structural drivers that will power the Chinese economy. China still has enormous potential to modernize further. It aims to double what is already the world's largest middle-income population to over 800 million people in 15 years and to grow its per capita GDP to be on par with mid-level developed countries by 2035. The scale of its green transition, the dynamism of its digital economy, its common prosperity drive to prevent polarization, a massive skilled labor force, world-renowned infrastructure, and its rapid rise in technology and innovation all add up to limitless areas for China and the world to cooperate in support of raising prosperity around the world. So, the forces of global fragmentation are indeed in play. However, I believe China's continued growth and development will act as a counterbalance and support the much-needed force of cooperation.